Hi again, everyone. Welcome again to BLG 18. I'm Paul B. You know MJ. So last week we spent most of our time talking about business and finance.
Show him the book. Show him the book.
So that we could have spent another hour.
Out of the way.
Okay.
I don't care about the whole show. Just show him the book.
It's not an elephant, but maybe it's an ostrich in the room.
Yeah.
He says I held up an upside down book.
It's your book. Oh, look at that. It is right side up.
Look at that. Wow. It's right side up.
Yeah, and I saw you practicing for about a half hour before we started.
Look, I can even go to the back.
Yeah. All right.
Ooh.
Good. And you know, not because Paul's a friend of mine, but the book is excellent.
Thank you.
And where do you get that, Paul?
So the book, you can go to paulbharringtongolf.com and get it from there. You can buy it from Lulu directly, or you can buy it from Amazon directly.
I stole mine. I didn't pay for it.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I left it in your hand, figuring, you
once it's in my that's it. You'll never get it back.
Well, you know what? Maybe the audience will find out this year if you read it.
Oh, yeah. Don't ask me any questions about it. No. I'm sorry. We digressed again.
That's okay. Ahead, that's okay. As you can tell, we keep it light here.
Yeah.
All right. So this week I'm going to talk a little bit about financing your golf. And it's a fairly involved topic in that I'll start from the beginning. Most people, when they start golf, it's because either a friend or a relative, took them to a range or took them to a practice green or something. And they said, oh, this is kind of fun. This is kind of easy, or maybe, it was somebody that were trying to make friends. They were making an inroad in business. And they said, listen, I really don't play, but I'll try it, see what it looks like. So they go through a couple of sessions and they do like it. And they're getting along well with the people that they associate with. So now they decide they're going to get some equipment. So the first thing you got to put out there is, as a beginner, you don't need anything new. Nothing. There's nothing new that is going to help you as a beginner outside of lessons. And lessons I wouldn't even take in the beginning unless you really truly feel that you have a really good feel for how the swing works. Then, you might want to go see a professional who can give you the correct form, because the physical form and how you use it's better if you learn it at the beginning, because then you don't have to worry about the little things like learning how to hit shots. Learning how to hit shots is a very, very difficult thing, and it takes a lifetime to learn.
You know what I noticed too when you take a golf lesson, if you're really new at this, the pro says things that you might be talking Greek. You blocked yourself out, or you're coming over to the top, or it's got to be out inside, outside. Yeah. What in the world?
Right.
They don't break it down. Right. They don't break it down and say, okay, this is what I mean when I say you're blocking the shot out. This is what I mean when your elbow's out and you're going to duck hook the shot. These are all the things that somehow the pros don't always get down to the real, and unfortunately most golfers, when they started, I don't know if they intimidated because it's a golf pro, but they're afraid to ask them, what do you mean blocking myself out? What in the world is that?
Right.
So.
Right. See, and what's kind of sad in a way is if they were to ask their friends will go, block it out. I mean, so unless the guy has taken lessons or the person's fairly good, guy or girl, doesn't matter. If they haven't taken lessons with a pro, or they haven't watched it on TV and then maybe watched some videos or something, they don't know what you're talking about either. So and that's why I say in the very beginning, don't get so caught up on especially driver. Okay, the worst thing you can do is get caught up on a driver, and I'll tell you why. A driver, if you think of it this way, if you score 100, all right, let's make the math simple. You shot 100 today, right? How many of those strokes were drives? 14, because there are 4 par 3s. So the most you can hit is 14 strokes. So a driver only counts for 14 out of 100. How many second shots did you hit? Well, you hit 18. You hit 14 and 4 tee shots off the par 3. So we're going to count that. So you hit 14 and 18. That's 32 shots. So if you subtract 32 from 100, you get 68. 68 shots come from 100 yards to the hole.
That's an excellent way. That's really a good way of describing it. Yeah, you're right.
Right. So
excellent. That is an excellent. I didn't even think of it that way.
Right. But and that's why when you look at, if you ever have a chance to go watch a pro tournament for a day, go to the range and watch. These guys hit 15 minutes worth of wedges, 9 irons, 8 irons, and maybe 5 shots going backwards with 4 or 5 different clubs. Because for a professional, all they're interested in, by the way, a professional when he goes to the range only cares, did I hit the ball in the middle of the club? He looks down there and goes, did I hit the ball in the middle of the club? That's it. They're not looking to see what their 7 iron's doing, or did I hit it in the middle of the club? Because if you hit it in the middle of the club, you should be able to control it fairly easily. But if you're hitting it off the toe, you'll start drawing it. Or if you hit it off the heel, you might start shanking it a little bit or hitting low fades. That's what they look at. They don't go up to a range because they don't call it a driving range. It's a range. It's a practice range. They will put a driver down and maybe hit 5 of them. Unless they're having an issue with it, in which case they may hit a few more. But that's all they're going to do. You need to go to a range, especially as a beginner, and practice hitting wedges, 9, 8, and 7. And when your friends are all up there banging out drivers and you watch them because they'll hit the drive, they don't even finish looking where it's going. They don't ask themselves, oh, I wonder if I hit that in the center of the club. I wonder if I drew that. No, they whack, whack, whack. So what does the newbie learn? I take out my driver and I whack, whack. And the newbie now all of a sudden isn't playing well and doesn't know, his friend doesn't know how to tell him because all he's done is hit driver on the tee. And for 14 shots around, you're going to score 120, 130 and give the game up.
To your point, though, you think about the putting too. If you're having a good round, you might putt 25 times. Right. And yeah, if you're having a great round, you're putting 25. If you're having a lousy round, you're putting 40. Yeah. Right.
And that's why I say from 100 yards in, and keep in mind that I'm talking about, there's no beginner on a 396 par 4 that's going to hit a drive and a second shot and have a 30-yard wedge going in. Not a one. He's going to hit his drive, or she's going to hit her drive somewhere, hopefully 100, 110 yards in the fairway, because most of them aren't going to be in the fairway. All right, so now they're going to hit a 286. What? 3 wood? No. So they're going to get to the green in 5 or 6. And then they're going to what? 4 putt? No, they're going to hit a couple of putts. Their friends are going to make them pick it up.
Yeah, the only time I can hit a 400-yard green in 2 is if they have a range of the year, and it bounces that far.
Bounces.
Yeah.
Or go play in the ice and just watch it.
And I've done that. Matter of fact, I did that with you one time.
Yeah.
Remember, I slid right, and it almost made it, but there was just one little hole in that ice. Damn it!
That's right.
And I made that hole, but no problem. I'm right in it. Could have gone 6 inches left of it. I would have rolled through it onto the. But no, I wouldn't.
Yeah, no. You were aiming for the hole. I mean, it might have been the best shot you hit all day. So, all right. But anyway, I digressed a little there. But it was important for you to understand that when you go to a practice range, that's where you're really learning the game. But you got to start from the green back to the tee. Arnold Palmer always used to say that when he looked at a hole, when he's putting a strategy together, he plays the hole from the green to the tee. So where does he want his tee shot to stop rolling to give him that second shot that he wants to give him the best angle getting into the green? So for that, he plays it backwards. So he goes, okay, so if I want the ball to be 15 feet to the left of the hole here, I need the ball to be in the fairway right at that brown patch. And so when he gets to the tee, he knows he's got to hit the brown patch, and he'll put the ball in the right position. And in reality, how many times do pros do it? I mean, really, if you ask them the truth, they don't even do 50% that precise. But it's that idea of where's the best position for the ball to stop rolling. Right?
And I think with the pros, which is different than myself, is that hit the drive in the rough a little bit. They have a shot to get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
When I get in the rough, I might as well camp there because, you know, all of a sudden, you know, I chunk it, I do this, I do that, and, you know, and but that's more a confidence. But next time you got to talk about confidence.
Yeah, well, I think we're gonna, because I think that might be next or the episode after, because confidence when you get your business rolling is a big thing.
So what I want to touch base on now, you feel comfortable that you have the financing. You feel comfortable that if you're going to start it up, you have whatever it is. If you're a consultant, you have customers that you like to know and everything else. But next comes out networking. Networking is so important. People don't understand. And that's the stuff that's done off-site, basically. Yeah. That's the stuff where you go to events. I remember there was a time there that I think I was trying to do business with Xerox. I found this one guy was a elk. And we became pretty good friends. So I said, well, yeah, so I joined the elk, okay? And we became friends and everything. So then when I went to call on him, I said, who do I talk to about this particular product that I want to sell you? And he said, oh, wait a second. I'll call Bob and tell you you're coming down. Oh. See, when that happens, that gives you a leg up. Because now Bob is friends with this guy and now you don't have to go through, well, who the heck are you? And explain yourself. It's already done. Same thing with federal and state and county and village officials. If there's officials in your area and you don't want to go because they're awful events, I don't disagree. And sometimes they cost you money because there may be a golf tournament or a dinner. But I'm telling you, I used to tell myself the whole reason I go to there is when I call one of them, they recognize it and they pick up the phone. That's all you need. They need to know you enough to pick up the phone. And they need to know you enough of your business because you self-sell it too. You don't you're out having a good time. Oh yeah, what do you do? I'm trying to do this. Yeah. Oh, okay, that's interesting. You know, and then maybe down the road you say, well, let me give Jerry a call and see. And you call Jerry, hey, how's your golf game? Good. How about you? Yeah. You know, I got a situation that I could do something to expand my business, but you know, can you help me? And then all of a sudden they say, well, absolutely, I can help you. Let's see what we can do for you, John. You know, and then all of a sudden, they start, well, there's a grant coming out. Or I had a senator once. It was in a golf tournament. And at the time I was working for a village as a consultant. And he said to me, Michael, he says, I got an extra $80,000 that I can put somewhere. Who do you think could use it? Please. Yeah. Please.
How long a list do you want?
Yeah, so eventually the village got the $80,000. And so they asked, well, how'd you get that? Did you fill out all the forms? No. And the other thing is, if you do apply for a grant, and this is almost as important, or you do apply for some kind, and you get turned down, that's almost the best thing that could happen to you. And I'll tell you why. As soon as you get turned down, they allow you to call and discuss it. Well, you get right on the phone and you talk to the person that turned you down and let them explain, because they love to explain to you. You don't want to talk. You just want to listen because they just love to talk. And you say, oh my goodness, that's such great news. This, you just butter the hell up out of it. And say, well, I'm going to try it again. Well, okay, but this time you do the grant, you run any troubles before you submit it, call me. Hello? Hello?
Right.
All right. That's a ticket to the bank, buddy. Take it. And that's how it works. Just sending it and just not, that's unfortunately or fortunately, it's not always the best grant that wins. It's the best connected grant that wins. Okay. And actually, believe it or not, it works the same way with banks. I remember going to the bank and at the time, my wife was pregnant and they couldn't give mortgages because she couldn't work, one of those things. Yeah. And he was a friend of mine. He looks at me and he says, John, your wife's not pregnant, is she? And of course she could hardly sit down. And I looked at her, no, she's not. Oh, good.
Right. That's right.
That was all it was.
That's right. No, I get that.
So it's not that, is it illegal? Is it legal? You're just networking. You want to be, and you always come across as a nice guy. Even when you hear disappointing news, you always finish it. Well, thank you for your time.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Never leave a bad thing. You can say, well, why didn't I get this? Or how come I didn't get the business? You should have given me the business. You didn't give them the business, but you gave them the business, but not me. What? No, no. You can say to the customer, I didn't get the order, but you gave it to somebody else. Can you explain to me why?
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Yeah. So I know what I'm doing wrong or what I can do to make it better.
Right.
And there's not a buyer in the world that doesn't like to talk about things like that.
Okay.
I remember calling on a large grocery chain, and I was doing a lot of business with them. I mean, I was really tight with them. And I remember one day I walked into his office and he didn't look good. Matter of fact, he was banging his head against the screen.
Okay.
I said, Jerry, what happened? What happened? Are you okay? Did I do something wrong? No, you're fine. Matter of fact, I got to give you an order. And then he points at the wall. And the wall's where all the ads for the week.
Oh, okay.
And he got a big circle around mac and cheese. I says, yeah. He says, we did mac and cheese 4 for $1. Yeah. Our competitor did it 5 for $1. And my boss circled it, so I was aware of that. I said, oh.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's also when I learned if you know the economy is good or not. But actually, that's how the government finds out. What they do is when things are bad, they go to those grocery stores and they ask them about their sales of macaroni and cheese. And if sales for macaroni and cheese are way up, and if you notice now they're on the end of all the aisles in the grocery store, it's because people don't have enough money to buy or make their own macaroni and cheese, and it's cheaper than to buy the macaroni. And that's how they judge where the economy is. It's the same thing with beer. Expensive beer stops, and they go back to the Genesee or whatever the hell the local beer is, and that's also what happens.
Right.
So and that's how they tell on that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Some more useless knowledge that you can store in your head.
That's awesome. No, I'll try and get rid of that.
Yeah, you don't want that. I wish I could just forget some of this stuff, but that it's interesting how
that's true
things,
though.
Yeah.
And to that degree, nonprofits recognize when the economy's bad, they're not going to do as well.
Right.
And like golf tournaments, for example. They may have had 100 people at the last one. The economy's not that good this year, so they've only got 80.
Yeah, that's what happens.
And they kind of build that in, knowing, well, the economy's not that good. People don't have whatever it is, $100 to $300 to a person to come in. But again, going back to networking, that whole concept, some people, again, first of all, it's a write-off. So obviously you can write it off on your taxes. But as a golfer, if you play, I don't care if you shoot 100, 110, but if you play and you know how to keep pace of play going, you can play with any business foursome out there.
Absolutely.
And the amount, when you go to a golf outing of some kind, especially a charity event, and you start meeting people there, hey, Jimmy from the office, I didn't know you played. Hey, Rebecca, I didn't know you played. Yeah. Hey, we should play, hey, let's put something together next month.
When I used to send a couple ladies that worked for me to some of these events, as soon as they got back, I said, who'd you meet? Who's your next best friend? Well, we didn't meet anybody. We kind of sat. Then I wasted my money sending you.
Yeah, right.
I wasted my money sending. Yeah. They finally learned that after I yelled at them. I made a connection with these people, and I made a connection with these people. That's why you're there.
That's why you're there. Yeah, you're not there to sit and look at people.
No, you're not there to have fun. You're there to make networking so your business will grow.
Right. See, and that's the thing.
And you can have fun doing it. Don't get me wrong.
Of course.
It's not a serious thing.
Of course.
But you have fun. It's all done in good spirit and everything else. But you make, for one thing, if you're having a good time and everybody's having a good time around you, they'll remember you.
That's right.
I had a guy told me once why he liked me so much. He says, and I did a lot of work for them. I made them a lot of money. He says, what I like about you, John, is like I send you in a room with a bunch of strangers, and I'd go in that with you too. Yeah. I would come out and I may know one person. When you go out, everybody said, "Bye, John. See you later."
Right.
Well,
Right.
But the reason for that is,
right.
That's why I'm there. I'm working.
Right. You're working the room. Absolutely. Yeah. See, and people don't realize that the thing about golf, more so than any other event that you can come up with, as far as meeting people, you're spending 4 to 5 hours alone in a cart with one person, and alone in a foursome with 3 other people. And it could be 3 other people that you work with. It could be 3 other people who believe in your cause. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things it could be. But you're spending 4 to 5 hours to get these people to remember you when the round's over. And you could set up, and now with indoor simulators, you could set up an event in the middle of winter. You can say, hey, why don't we go to the simulator, on Saturday afternoon? I've got it from 2 to 4. Why don't you guys come and you meet and you talk a little business, you have lunch, whatever it all happens to be, right?
I had buyers, after they got to know me so well, when they used to come into town, they used to stay with me.
Right.
Unheard of.
Right.
The buyer stayed with you.
Right. But he understood, or she understood.
Yeah, they were, they were good. They were good friends, everything else, but they were also how I made money.
Right. No, it's true. That they are the people. Absolutely. Yeah.
So don't be afraid to put yourself out there.
No, especially, because the other thing, like, it's hard to explain, but even the worst golfer can make a memorable shot.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter. You could be somebody who's played 5 times and Jimbo bowed out. And so they asked you to come in and play because they know you've started playing, and you knew one of the guys, and he said, hey, Bobby Joe over there, she can come in. And Bobby Joe just started. But Bobby Joe's played a few times. Well, Bobby Joe gets up on 14. She's, 40 yards off the green in 5. And she chips it in.
Made her day.
Made her day, and everybody else was like, wow, congratulations. Everybody gets, that was a great shot.
Everybody gets excited when that happens. Absolutely.
And you just never know in those events how that's going to happen. And that carries over. And the next time, now, maybe Bobby Lynn makes a phone call. Hey, Michael, how you doing? Yeah, it's Bobby Lynn. Hey, Bobby Lynn? Yeah, hey, wait, I remember you. You sunk the chip on 14.
There you go. That's what it's all about.
And that's it. Where do you want to meet for lunch? It's,
I let me tell you, I belong to the Masons. I belong to the Knights of Columbus. I belong to the Elks. I belong to, I lose track of everything I belong to. And it's all because I needed to meet people and talk to them. Right. Chamber of Commerce, and anytime you get asked to join any kind of board, you join it. You join it. I was on 2 hospital boards. I was on a hospice board. Why? It sounds like a selfish reason, but if I feel someday one of those people on that board has got something that I need to sell them, I can phone them and call them, and they'll talk to me right away.
Absolutely. And there's nothing wrong. That's what your business is.
That's what your business is. And I don't care if you're selling pogo sticks or you're selling a service or whatever it is. Right. It's all about networking. Yeah. And you could have a podcast and you go to a golf tournament and you're talking to somebody, tell them you've got this golf cast where business, life, and golf share success, and you explain, what they have in common and their successes. And he just happens to be a new business owner and says, hey, can I come on your show? Yeah. Absolutely. So, yes. And as a self-promotion, I'll be honest with you, I still do it. Consulting work for individuals, cities, villages, towns, and individual businesses that may be having a hard time getting out of their own way, whether it's their structure or their internal structure, or and like I said, most of the time the problems is at the head of the organization. So, and they're the ones that hire you. So it's kind of awkward, but that's just the way it is. Yeah, but that's okay. That's the way it goes. Hey, look, I'm open to giving golf lessons to anybody. So please send us questions. But anyway, yes, please. We want comments. We know that you have questions out there for us. I really want to know if somebody bought the book. Okay. I'll let you know. Because I want a piece of that action. Okay. All right. I can. There's got to be something around here I can give you. No, I don't want that. I want something I can fold, and I don't mean the pages in the book.
All right, too bad.
All right.
All right. Anyway, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.